So at what time did you come back? Did you relocate to Nigeria, back to Nigeria?
I might have, yeah, this year I would say.
No, I mean that time.
Oh,
Because,
that time.
You know, it was like a break. You had all the British movies, and afterwards you came and
I came back
stamped your
after
foot
first act.
down here.
Yeah,
in Nigeria.
78.
78.
Yeah,
At that
77,
time, were you
78.
married?
Oh, I've been married long time, yes.
How did you meet your husband?
As you know, as I said, I was working as an actor, and I wanted to have an apartment, and I had my estate agents, Knight, Frank and Ratley, they were, and they took me to an apartment block, which I found later was inhabited by artists, painters, musicians, writers. My neighbors now in the block, they gave me a party to welcome me to my new apartment. And he was at that party, it was in this our apartment block, evidently a neighbor. And he sat by me and came and introduced himself, and we sat and we were talking, and we were, you know, if my Coca-Cola finished or water finished, they went to fetch it. And we were talking like that. I think the following week he traveled. Well, I didn't know him other than he was my neighbor. And he would call me. He was in the oil. He was a shell man. He would phone me and we would talk. And we fell in love on the, just talking.
Talking on the phone?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You fell in love with your husband?
Yeah.
Talking over the phone?
That's right.
That's interesting.
Because we were talking about books. I love books.
Okay.
And it's what book you read and what books you didn't read and everything. And we were talking like that. And so by the time he came home, about 6 months later, he says, "You must marry me."
Okay.
And I said, no. And he says, well, he had picked me. He said, when I came to inspect the apartment, once I came down, because I told you I usually cover my hair, and I used to wear long dresses, and I used to wear wide brim hats. And he said, I alighted from the car, and he said he looked at me from his house, apparently opposite to the building. And he said to himself, that's my wife, I'm going to marry her. And I had said, and he said to me, I told myself, you're my wife. And all our conversations and all our interactions since he'd been away, he'd gotten to know me better, and he's decided that his instincts were right, and that I really was his wife. I was going to be his wife.
Was it a voice you fell in love with?
That he fell in love with.
Was it a voice you fell in love with?
Oh, he has an incredible voice.
Oh,
deep, beautiful, sexy voice. Oh, yes. His voice is very good.
Okay.
But my first impression of him was how clean he smelled. I love cleanliness. He was so exquisite clean. Squeaky clean, very clean. And very, very simple, very gentle, but absolutely quiet. And a man who obviously knew his own mind. I like people, and of course he was well read. That's the thing.
Where is he from?
He was an Englishman.
Oh, a British.
Yeah.
So where is he now?
My husband is dead.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
How many years ago?
20 years this December.
Oh my word.
You see, it sounds as though he's still alive.
Yes.
That's right. He was an extraordinary man. He was an incredible person.
And you pulled him from the UK down here?
He came here with me.
He came here with you?
Oh yes, he's buried at that pond there.
Whoa, you're a very strong woman, you know.
I'm a very blessed woman. I have been loved.
Cherished.
Now, cherished, loved.
Adored.
Oh. So what's there not to get to have strength about? All those things strengthen you. You own the world.
And so when you came back with a British man as a husband, back then, What was the reception like? I mean, given the African culture and all of that put together.
Oh, come on. Our people always think anything foreign is different, is better. Right?
Were they right?
Oh, they're wrong. He married me because he thought I was better.
And you married him because you thought?
He was a very special man.
So you complement each other?
He was a very, very special person. He thought I was the best thing since sliced bread. I hope you get a man like I did. The sort of person I married, the person who loved me, was very passionate about me, about what I did, what I thought, what I wanted.
And it continued all through your marriage?
I can virtually, we talk about God, I can virtually say that he is responsible for this. I wish he was here and sat here and talked to you.
So did he become your producer or something, or like your manager or something?
He was my manager. He was still doing his own work, but he managed me. I still had managers, I still had agents. But he, what shall I say, he decided to...
Take you as a project?
Yeah. And he says no. And he opened an account for me and he would put money in there, just so I don't miss my earnings, so I could concentrate on my acting and training for my acting.
Was there anything you would have changed about him?
Nothing, not a thing.
So how did he die?
He just fell ill, short, brief illness, and just...
And passed? Did he have last words for you before he passed?
His last words for me was... He caressed.
Wow.
I love you.
And that was it? So how have you been living after his demise?
I carried on my work, knowing that's what he wanted. He would like that. I carried on working. I picked up the gauntlet and ran with it. And I'm very proud today. Sorry.
No, you... A very strong, very, 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 very strong
So my husband made me. Because he believed there was nothing I couldn't do. He thought I was the best of the best. He thought Nigeria then didn't quite know what it had. He persuaded me to come back home. He said, I was making waves over there. I was successful, and he said, well, it's nothing if your people didn't know who you are. That's how I came home.
Okay, did you have kids between you?
No.
Was it deliberate?
No. Well, partly.
Why would you say that?
He was married before he had children. I was married before I had children. And so we just concentrated on...
Yourselves?
On the work. Not on ourselves.
On each other?
Our project, our mission is my work. That's our mission.
Making each other better.
Yeah. Acting is not it's not about fame for us. It's about passing a message on. It's a philosophy. It's about inspiring others. It's about being an instrument of inspiration for other people.
So you would say your husband, Lycett, made up
Lycett.
for the failed marriage, the marriage you had before?
That's not the way to look at it.
How would you look at it?
My marriage didn't fail.
The first
It
one?
didn't work. You see, there's, you know,
Difference
the way
between worked, something that worked, and something that failed.
Yeah, no, nothing failed in life.
Okay.
You learn from one marriage. It was an accumulation. You learn. You learn from one thing that didn't quite work. Basically because maybe you don't have the experience. So you have experience and you bring to another relationship. There is nothing in this world that is a write-off. Failure actually is opportunity in a different guise. So sometimes when you say something failed, you think, my God, you know, you just didn't get it right for all sorts of reasons. Not because the other person is bad or because you're bad, but it didn't work. Okay, but you must learn from that.
But that guy, was he Nigerian?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And you had how many kids with him?
I have a son.
A son? How old is he now?
50-something. 56?
So you have grandchildren as well?
Oh, I have grandchildren, yes.
When you look back in time and you want to count your blessings, how would you sound them out?
My blessings. My life is an illustration. The breath I take is an illustration of the blessings that I have. The life that I have led is a privilege. It's an incredible privilege. The life that I have lived.
So those happy moments, yes, you've spoken about your husband. You've spoken about getting into theater. What else would you add to that?
Happy moments. First of all, my life, what more would I add to that? My life after my husband died.
Really?
Because of him, I'm doing what I'm doing. Because what you look at, I don't even see him as a loss. I see him as a gain. Because when I think about him, I think about all the wonderful moments we have. When you have that, you're always glowing. And when he died, the first thing I did, he died on the 31st of December. Now that's
the last day of the year.
The very last day. That's my husband for you. Didn't surprise me. He said to me, on your bike, get up and go. Carry on. You can do it. You're okay. People used to say I was a man because nobody saw me cry. Nobody saw me break down. Nobody. I've been going since, you know. When he died, that day, the following year, I mourned him. I locked myself up for 1 year. But in that 1 year, I was planning the school. On the 31st of December, he died on the 31st of December 1993. On the 31st of December 1994, I started Tal House Private School. Tal House, Tal, T-A-L, that's Thomas Aldrich Lycett. People always think it's Taiwo Ajayi Lycett. It's Thomas Aldrich Lycett. I started Tal House Private School to memorialize him, because I feel that on the 31st of December, I didn't want to be crying. No, I want to celebrate him. Every 31st of December that he transited, that he went, I want to remember him with something wonderful.
What keeps you busy? Who keeps you busy? I won't say what keeps you busy. Who keeps you busy?
Nobody.
Your grandchildren don't come around?
My grandchildren are abroad.
Okay.
What keeps me busy?
You don't get lonely?
Service. No. You don't have the kind of mind I have and be lonely.
If you want to live life again, if you have the opportunity of living life all over again, would you have lived it differently?
I wouldn't.
Would you have
What I know
changed
now,
anything?
from what I know now, no. I've got the best of all worlds. I had everything.
So what's your one wish that you haven't accomplished yet?
Train professional actors for Nigeria.
That brings me to this question. What is your perception of the Nigerian movie scene today?
It brought dynamism. People were doing things. But on the bad news is, I don't think it has substance. It didn't have social substance. It had no, for me, I can only talk for myself, it had no intellectual substance that I could say, oh yes, that's it. Because visual, just looking at things, people running around and lovely sets and everything, and then a dinner table that people don't know which fork to use and how to set a table, and you're saying you're doing contempt. If you're going to be in my village and we sit on the mat and we eat with our fingers, I'm okay with that. But if you're claiming to be contemporary and modern and being hip and up to whatever it is, then you must know how to set a table. Middle class, okay? So if you don't do that, well, what are we doing? So on the bad side, they haven't got their act together. It was neither fish nor fowl, is all I can say.
Stage drama, stage act is gradually, can we rightly say, or can we safely say, Nigeria, the Nigerian movie industry, or the Nigerian drama act, they have literally abandoned the stage act for movies and home videos?
Because you get quick money from home videos. I mean, stage production is art.
Is that healthy?
Of course it's unhealthy, because you see, if the more theater you have, the more work your actors are doing on stage, the better trained they become. And it will translate into their film work and TV work. But that's not happening. And you will feel the dearth of that in their work, the missing of that in their work. That's where the substance and the quality of acting and writing will show up. And I'm sure it's showing up. And so we're just sort of going down to Babalawu and painting our faces and jumping up and down. And we're saying that's what we are in 21st century. But that they started something. That was wonderful. And that is entirely Nigerian, because we have incredible energy. And if we have that energy, why can't we use it properly and lead the world, certainly lead Africa, not by showing rubbish, but really positioning African culture as it should be. Because let's face it, this is the first and the last frontier. This country is the true God's own country. We've got the resources, human and material. We are vast. We've got the culture. What we're doing with it. And one way we can project this is through entertainment. The way Hollywood is done for America. America is violent, is all sorts of things. But you would never believe it by the way they think their country is specially blessed by God. They're right. And that's another thing. When we're doing films like that, we're talking our country down instead of raising our country. I'm all for raising things.
That's a nice one. I want to ask this question. We're gradually rounding up. I want to ask this question. Who taught you how to speak?
Oh, I had several teachers. Several of them.
God bless their souls.
Thank you.
God bless their souls. On a final note, on a final note, what do you want to be remembered for? Taiwo Ajayi Lycett.
How would I know that?
What do you want to be remembered for?
I haven't even started my life. No. I'm not being facetious. The best is yet to come. So how am I going to answer that? I've just started.
At 73.
Yeah,
I've to come.
Yeah, I've just landed on a new threshold. I'm starting the school I'm talking about. It's going to be major. I'm going to train people. I'm looking forward to seeing people working and say, yeah, I was
What do you want
part
people
of
to
that.
remember you for?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
I hope, no, seriously.
You don't want them to remember you for your accent. You don't want them to remember you for your good acting. You don't want them to remember you for your stage work. You don't want them to remember you for all the other things you did.
No, I like them to remember me for who I am.
And who are you?
My accent, I am not my work. I am not my accent. I am not my stage work. I am Taiwo Ajayi Lycett.
And who is Taiwo Ajayi Lycett?
That's what we're saying. We'll find out who she is. I'd like to think I am an inspirer. I am kind. I am humble. I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that I can touch people. I'd like to think that I have lived a life. I like to think that I had a great love. But then that's all personal. Because you don't know my husband, but when you see me, you see my husband.
And so on that note, we want to say thank you so much for gracing the show.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been an honor having you.
Thank you very much.
And I want to say you have touched my life in a very unique way. I've never cried on stage. I've never really, nobody has brought me to tears, but you succeeded in doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's to say you draw out people's emotions.
It's a passion. Be honest. And when you are honest, you reach another person. They hear you loud and clear. I have no guile. What you see, as they say, is what you get.
And I've gotten a lot from you today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much.
I'm going to hug you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. And so viewers, it's a wrap. Yes, this is a concluding part of Saturday Night with Taiwo Ajayi Lycett. Until next week when we come your way with another guest, it's been Saturday Night. Good night.